Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Gal is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Katie's here.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Spence is back. He's watching us. He is laid in bed after some medical procedure. He's hurting, so he's
but he's good. He's not.
He's good.
He's good.
He's good.
Yeah,
He's good. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. And it is a Sunday. It's kind of cool this morning.
Good.
Yesterday was like summer day.
Yeah. I don't like the cold weather, but I also get frustrated when it's supposed to be cold out and it's not. Because the heat down here means humidity, and I'm tired of humidity. It needs to go away. I need to have my cool.
Find
No,
somewhere else to live.
absolutely not. I refuse. Because like I said, I don't like the cold. I just don't want it. I need a break from the humidity. That's what I need.
All right.
Oh.
So, Katie is the hot stuff this morning, rocking a brand new machine.
Yes. Costco had a great deal. I don't know if it's still active because they didn't say it was a Cyber Monday deal or a Black Friday deal. But let me pull up the specs on what it is. But I got a $1,200 computer for about $900. It's a Lenovo gaming desktop with AMD Ryzen 7 5700G with a RTX 360 graphics card, and it comes with 1 terabyte hard drive with a 512 SSD hard drive. Yeah, I love it. It's great. It was a great a budget machine that I really needed to upgrade my old computer because I do a lot of graphics stuff. So it was a great buy from Costco. The sale, it looks like it's still active. I have the website pulled up. It says online price $1,200 with $300 off. So if anybody needs a really good computer, Costco seems to be the place to have it.
Listen to her, guys. It's a budget computer.
Budget for me, it's a budget computer
right.
because
that's
listen, I do motion graphics, so I need to find a computer that can basically solve quantum mechanics, but for like a small calculator price, like a handheld calculator price.
No, it's fine. It's fine, but it's not really a budget. It's budget for you because what you do.
Yeah. So if you're an artist or whoever that does videos and production stuff, then this is a budget computer.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Look, Katie was looking at machines that started at $3,000 before this.
Yeah,
and I told her
was.
stop.
I was. In fact, the machine I was going to get originally a couple months ago was like $4,200. And then I was like, I don't want to spend $4,200 on a computer, but it was like all souped up. And but yeah, then Costco came and saved the day.
But I want to kind of push back on Amnon's notion for a second. $800 for a computer, or what was it, 8 or 9?
It was 9.
$900 for a computer, especially if you're getting into gaming, is
not.
I would make the argument that's lower middle tier.
Yeah, it's a $1,200 computer, which was
Yeah.
on sale, discounted.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Amnon, most gamers spend $800 on their GPU.
On the,
A minimum gaming.
and this is
computer.
a
If you're-
pretty
if you're-
good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good GPU too. It's in there.
That's a fantastic GPU.
Yeah, she got a
Oh
hell of a-
yeah. No, it's a great computer. Like I said, I make videos and motion graphics all day. So my old machine is almost 10 years old and it was taking like 2 hours to render something where I plug in the same video into this machine and doesn't it like 10, 15 minutes. So that was a huge upgrade for me.
Is there a way that you can? And I'm not familiar with how to do this. To combine them to get more power when you're
Yeah,
rendering.
you could set up what they call a render farm. So again, I'm not a really super technical person, but basically what you could do is you could set up computers to use their processing to help you render stuff.
Okay.
So that's one of the things I think I'm going to use my old computer for, even though it's not as souped up as my new one, but it's still a perfectly good computer. We were
Mhm.
talking about that. But I can set it up as a render farm, and then when I render stuff on my new computer now, it will pull power or pull process or however that works on the old computer. I keep pointing over here because that's where it is. That's my old computer. Why can't I? There it is.
Yeah.
So, and then I also got Costco had a crazy deal on a monitor. It's a 34-inch curved monitor for I got it for $180. It usually runs for $250, and I love it. It's amazing. The only downside, which I was telling them about, is that it's not a 4K monitor. But again, I'm going for budget, so at that price, and it's curved and it's big. And I was like, do I really need this monitor? Do I really need this huge monitor? Yes, I really do. Now that I have it and I play games on it, I'm like, yes, I do need this monitor.
Okay. All right. Good. Very, very nice. Congratulations.
Thanks. So now I can't spend any more money for like the next couple months. So nobody's
Oh,
getting
God.
Christmas presents.
Yes, you
I
can.
got my goo in from last week's specials.
Ugh.
Universal dust cleaner, and it actually works very well. So said I would buy. I'm a man of the people, in case you guys didn't know. So I put my money where my mouth is, whatever, with $4 or $5 or whatever it was. Works really well. There's a lot in here. You pick a little piece out, ball it up, use it to run across your keyboard, your air vent in your car, or anything where cup holders in your car, stuff like that, and it cleans it up real nice. So, well, there you go.
Nice.
And my
Oh,
solution was just to get a completely new keyboard because I didn't.
That is a superior solution. I'm not going to argue that.
Granted, the new keyboard I have now was that one that was on Slick Deals, I don't know, 6 months ago. I was telling them the EVGA, RBG, it's a lot of ABC
Ruth Bader
1, 2, 3. Yeah. It's amazing keyboard. I'm like, dang, I feel like I'm living in the future. Like I was in the 90s and now it's like I got internet for the first time or something with all these upgrades.
exciting.
Mhm.
Good. Nothing wrong with that. What do I have here? This is one from last week that we didn't get into. I never even knew that iCloud works for Windows.
Yeah.
But apparently there are ongoing issues apparently affecting the iCloud for Windows app, particularly in regards to photo and video storage. According to a number of online complaints from users, iCloud for Windows is corrupting certain videos.
Whoa, that's a big deal.
There are also reports of a more worrying problem. Photos from strangers popping up in people's iCloud photo library.
That's some Hunter Biden stuff right there.
Oh.
Wow.
Mac
Yeah,
rumors.
but hold on. This is only on the Windows side.
Yeah,
right?
on the
So
Windows
it doesn't
side.
really matter.
iCloud for Windows.
Good point.
Wow. I can't imagine. Like I said, I work with videos for my job, and if I was using the iCloud as my cloud storage and my client video got corrupted, oh, I would lose it. Like,
Yeah,
dang.
that's
Yeah,
why you have
I
to-
think there's a reason Apple never integrated well in the enterprise realm.
Well,
They're a consumer product. That has never really changed.
It goes that Mac Rumors rounded up some of these complaints via complaints posted on their forums. According to an affected user, videos taken with the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro models aren't being properly synced with iCloud for Windows. When certain videos are recorded and synced with iCloud for Windows, they then turn black with scan lines, rendering the videos unwatchable.
So
Wow.
I think I understand what's going on. So Apple, what, 5 years ago, they started using a new format for encoding both stills and videos.
Okay.
And I am guessing that, and it's their proprietary one, I think. So it's
HEIC
not
is the
like,
format.
yeah, it's not available for, at least not for free, in other in non-Apple systems. So it sounds like what you're describing as corrupt is only on the download side into the Windows machine. It's not like it's corrupting in the cloud the content, the source. It's just you can't view it properly
Right.
on the Windows machine. That's how it sounds. If that's the case, they'll fix it eventually.
Oh, they'll fix it either way.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now,
But
and people
yeah,
need to be aware of this. Because
yeah,
in many cases, people just take pictures, and then they just put it on iCloud. They don't check to see, just like you don't
You
check.
shouldn't have to. You pay.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay
Yeah.
a subscription,
Yeah.
as many folks do for it. But as Galt mentioned, this is just the Windows desktop client, which I
Yes.
can't imagine has got a high level of
Usage. Yeah.
I
I never
I
even
can't
knew.
imagine.
Well, I don't know. I have a iPhone and I use a Windows computer, and it's all the time telling me that I need to get iCloud for my computer. Like every time I plug in my phone into my computer, or it used to send messages all the time, and then it stopped recently. It was like, just for $1, you could do this on your machine.
What is sending you those notifications?
Apple, like,
But what is it, through iTunes?
no, it's just a notification that pops up either on my computer or pops up on my phone. Like whenever I connect my phone to my computer, even if I'm just like charging it through my computer or whatever, just have the charger cord. There's always like a message, or like it auto pops up iCloud, and
Interesting.
yeah, so they push it, like they definitely push it. It's not so. What I'm trying to say is, I think a lot more people with Windows machines that have done it, because they're like me. They have an iPhone, but they mainly work in Windows. There's probably more than people think.
Well,
I couldn't tell you the last time I plugged my phone. Actually, I can tell you the last time I plugged my phone into my computer. Close to 2 years ago, when I was backing up videos.
I had to do it because of Instagram. A few years ago, I tried to get like super hardcore into social media to promote my business and freelance and all that kind of stuff. And they really make it really frustrating trying to, if you don't have the whole Apple system, or you don't have the whole Windows system or whatever, you have to like jump through hoops to get like to transfer images or whatever. And so like in Instagram, they fixed it now. Meta, you can upload Instagram photos through your computer through the Meta
Yeah.
business or whatever. But beforehand, you couldn't, or you had to only use your phone. So I would draw digitally on my computer. I'd have to plug in my phone and do this, that, other thing. And the way I got around that eventually was that I just downloaded Dropbox and I used that. But beforehand, when I was trying to figure all that out, I was like, oh, I'll just plug my phone into my computer. And I was doing that for a while. But every time I did that, it would like pop up that thing. Anyways, it was a pain in the ass. But now, Meta Business, it has it to where you could upload and do all your stuff on Instagram on your computer. So that's made it easier.
You can also post directly to Instagram from the web, which is pretty.
Oh, wow. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, they have a full. You can use Instagram on web, full blown.
Nice. Yeah, they needed to change that, because as a digital artist, it was very frustrating trying to get my stuff on Instagram. Like for a while, I didn't even bother, because it was like, this is like too many extra steps.
Yeah. Well, the popular thing that a lot of people did back in the before they offered all that was they would run a program called BlueStack, which was an
Mm.
Android emulator, and they would run Instagram on an emulator on their. I used to have to do this when I worked when I was in high school. I worked part time with a photographer, and it was before Instagram allowed that. So I'd run. It was a Mac, so I'd run Photoshop on that, do the photo editing, and then use this Android emulator to make the computer think it was an Android phone or tablet, and have to
Yeah.
upload. It was such a pain. So
Ugh,
awful.
yeah. That's why I was like, I can't do social media. This is too much.
Yeah, now they're all open, which is great.
Good.
Talking about notifications. I uh Friday. Friday? Yeah, Friday. I changed my default browser on my phone to Brave. And it's working
That's
fine.
brave of you.
Hey.
Now, what is Brave uh saying? Why do should people use Brave? Because of tracking, because of privacy, things like
Yeah, only brave should track you.
that. Yeah. And twice a day or three times a day now, I get a notification from Brave. Set this up so you can see how many uh how many times we block tracking from websites. And the truth is, I don't have time. I just clear it and that's it. I
Truth
guess
is, you don't even use your phone, so there's nothing for them to even.
I
block.
no. Well, the thing is, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Come on,
It's
you
stupid.
guys.
Why are
I
you
mean,
popping up to tell me that you're doing what you're supposed to
yeah,
be doing?
exactly. And I'm sure there's a way to eliminate that by going into the settings somewhere and say, no, I don't want it. But
You
it's
don't need to go to the settings. Amnon, it's as easy as the next time that notification shows
yeah.
up, just long press on it and say, don't show me this notification ever again.
Oh,
Easy as that.
okay. All right.
And that's true for any notification on your phone, right? It's nothing special.
Oh, wait.
So, e-
You don't mean that it will
every
stop?
notification on your phone that you don't want to see again, just long press on
Okay.
it and say switch off. Okay.
And it's only for that particular source that
For
sends
that
you.
particular
okay,
app, and even within that app it can be for that particular category of notifications within
Okay.
that app. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's good to know. So you see it there, and you just long press, and then you say, "Don't show me." Okay.
they went a step further on Android 13, which is their latest iteration, the newest and the shiniest OS.
Mhm.
And if you swipe, I don't remember, I think left, you get actual buttons that you can interact with. So it's a lot more, I would say, intuitive, because swiping has become the way of getting rid of the notification. So if you swipe one side, you just remove the notification right now. But if you swipe to the other side, you get the options very, very, very visible. So,
All right. That's
but yeah, it's it has been rather easy to uh,
fair enough.
make away with these pesky notifications rather easily. So, yeah.
I need to try that out on my iPhone. I get notifications. They're ones I want to get, like things where people are interacting with my stuff on my phone or whatever that I need to know about. But
Right.
every now and then there'll be like an ad for something, and the iPhone also has a swipe, but when I swipe, you have to be careful because when I swipe it, it clears the notification, but it won't stop the notification. So the next time I get a notification, I'll see if I hold it down, if it'll maybe give me that option.
Yeah, I'm guessing it works similar on an iPhone.
Mhm.
All right. Good. Um, an international police operation has dismantled an online spoofing service that allowed cyber criminals to impersonate trusted corporations to steal more than 120 million from victims. iSpoof, which now displays a message stating that it has been seized by the FBI and the US Secret Service, offered spoofing services that enabled paying users to mask their phone numbers with one belonging to a trusted organization such as banks and tax offices to carry out social engineering attacks. The services of the website allow those who sign up and pay for the service to anonymously make spoofed calls, send recorded messages, and intercept one-time password. Europol said in a statement, the users were able to impersonate an infinite number of entities for financial gain and substantial losses to victims. London Metropolitan Police, which began investigating iSpoof in June 2021, look how long it took, along with international law enforcement agencies in the US, the Netherlands, and Ukraine, said it had arrested the website's suspected administrator, named as T.J. Fletcher, charged with fraud and offenses related to organized crime. Fletcher was remanded to custody and will appear at Southwark Crown Court in London on December 6th. iSpoof had around 59,000 users.
Those are the bad guys. So 59,000 bad guys.
Yeah, bad guys, absolutely. Which caused 58.2 million of losses to 200,000 identified victims in the UK. According to the Metropolitan Police, one victim was scammed out of 3.64 million, while the average amount stolen was 12,000.
How the hell were you scammed out of $3.5 million?
I mean, you got to be. It
You
goes
gotta have
both
$3.5
ways.
million to lose.
Yeah, it goes both ways. I mean, it's not just a bad person; it's also an uninformed person on the other side who falls for it. So yeah,
My girlfriend got caught up in a text message scam.
Was it through Facebook?
No, she got a text message from something that looked legitimate, and it turned out not to be.
Oh, dang.
yeah.
The reason I ask about the Facebook thing is that there's a popular Facebook Marketplace scam where they try to get you off of Facebook Marketplace and to get you through your text messages.
Yeah.
Don't ever talk to anybody through your phone. Go through, if you're doing Facebook Marketplace, talk to everybody through Facebook Marketplace. That's like the number one thing.
I got one the other day. I'm selling. I've got a whole bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and the guy goes, "Can I text you?" So I gave him my Google Voice number because, sure, whatever. And then he's like, "Oh well, I need to send you a verification."
Yeah.
And I was
Yep.
like, I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Sure." Well, where are you from? His response back, "Oh, I'm local." So I was like, "Oh, all right," and block.
Yeah,
Oh, you're local, great.
I had a customer in the UK that also sent me an email and said, "Amnon, I just fell for a scam. I got a text message and I did what they told me to do, and it turned out to be a scam." So he stopped. And again, which is hard to understand and hard to imagine somebody doing it. They ask him to go and get gift cards.
Yep.
I mean, give me a break. Here's the IRS calling me saying that I owe taxes and they want gift cards.
Yep.
Come on. What were you saying, God? I'm sorry.
It's easy to
Yeah.
from this vantage point to critique it, but when you're in it,
Yeah.
right?
It's yeah.
the stress, so it's a template. They first get you into a state of stress. right? And once you're in that state of stress, if they got you there, right, then they probably got the grip settled in such a way that they no longer act as they acted in the beginning. At this point, they are squeezing, and you will do anything just to get out of it. Uh, and the situation you're in, right, as a human being, if you got to that state of stress, if they were able to get you there, then you are being abused and you are not even noticing until after the fact. And when you sit down and you try to analyze back, that is when you realize every single point where you failed to see the red flags, right? But now it's too late. So it's all, we are, the reason we look at it and we say, come on, is first of all, we are sort of prepared. We've already have in our mind these scenarios, right? I'm talking about everybody here on the call. We have logged in our brain, these are the scenarios, this is how I'm going to react. The moment I hear this, they're gone, right? I'm disconnecting the call. I'm not even going to engage any further. But most people, it comes so unexpected, right? They don't see the signs only after the fact. So yeah, I mean, I have zero judgment about anybody who fell into a scam. It's just I see the red flags as they are coming in. They don't even know to expect it. And so
You gave me an
that's
idea.
just
Well, because so my mom, so my mom over the years, she is at the perfect age group that the spammers, like the scammers, try to target. A retired, and like new technology is updating all the time, so they're always like pushing stuff like, oh, you forgot to do this, or you forgot, oh, the payment, blah blah blah. And I told her, if you ever get one of these messages through whatever, call me first, and I'll help you figure out if it's a scam or not. 99% of the time it is a scam. However, she's now become educated. Like she now knows what to look for, to where she'll tell me, oh, somebody sent me a text message, and I was like, oh gosh, you didn't respond to it, right? She goes, nope, I immediately deleted it because I knew. So what if somebody makes a website where it's like me, like where I provide the service for my mom as like a questionnaire, so they could go to it and be like, oh, well, I don't know if this is legit or not, and they ask 10 questions. Did you get a text message? Do you know the number? And be like, yes, no, and then maybe there's like a prompt that says, this is probably the scam, this happens, blah blah blah, and like educate people on what the scam is. Because when they get emotionally stressed about, like you were talking about, the fall for the scams is because they don't have anybody to ask. And so like,
so
or they're
go ahead.
ashamed to
So-
ask.
you are exactly, there's a shame factor, but it's not that the idea is bad. There's a problem, right? The reason it works for you and your mom is your mom has complete trust in your judgment over this. Okay, so I've tried, so there's a subreddit called scams, I think that's the name. And I remember I saw some sort of ad. I wanted to check because I couldn't cross-reference on my own. Something like it looked off, and cross-referencing was an issue. And so I reached out to that subreddit and asked a question about that site. And the problem is, if you're in a group of people who are so focused on scam, everything's a scam, and that's not helpful either, right? Getting an objective analysis of this, finding the source that you trust, that you can actually trust, right, is hard. Because if you make a successful website out of it, and there are a few like that, the problem is you'll get a scam website that claims exactly the same, and it'll pull in, right, a lot of other people.
I've got a solution. Nissan Communications, Computers 2K. Like, seriously, but like, what if the Computers 2K has a website and it's like, here, this is the questionnaire with the scams or whatever to figure out if you've been scammed.
From a corporate standpoint, they have this, and I'm not sure if you've ever had to do this at any of your companies, Katie, but my company does it, and they
training.
employ a service that sends scam emails to the
Yep.
employees.
Phishing.
The phishing emails, scam
Yep.
phishing emails to train employees. So that's it on the corporate side, and the goal is to train. But no, I think Gal's spot on with the trust factor for it, because
Mhm.
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the main problem. Everything about security is about trust and establishing the trust and what we take for granted, right? Everything. Encryption won't work unless you trust the other side to have a key that you've exchanged with them, right? And it's actually just who you wanted it to exchange with. So it's like, it doesn't matter what the technology is, there's always a factor of human trust that needs to go into it. We have been put to sleep, sort of, right, in the way we trust the technology that we're using. And if we never stop and ask, how does it work? Who's on the other end? Can we trust them? Then we get to these situations, and that's why scamming is so lucrative still. And I don't think it'll ever change, not really, because the human factor is not really going away.
I want to
No.
like you mentioned the corporate phishing thing. So
Mhm.
my companies that I worked for also did the testing where they would send out phishing emails. But my solution was to literally ignore all emails unless it was to the people that I needed to talk to. And so I would fail their phishing training course because they're like, well, if you ever see a suspicious email, you need to report it. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to shift through all of the emails that I get. I get like hundreds of emails daily from between actual scammers, between my business stuff, and then them like faking the phishing stuff. I just ignore everybody and delete everything. And they're like, oh, well, you failed because you didn't report the phishing. I was like, yeah, but I didn't click on it. Like I didn't interact with it. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I'm not going to sit here and read through the hundreds of emails that I get every day that are not relevant.
I had something that I guess we should have done some time ago at Delta Force. One of my bigger customers asked if we can tag internal or external on messages that they're getting, because
That's what most corporations do.
yeah, because it's that you get a message, an email from your boss telling you, I mean, I need you to call. My wife just called and she said, for you to call this number, whatever. And it's a scam.
Mhm.
So it was a bear to develop it, because it wasn't available to. It's not readily available. It's readily available on the Windows side, and with Outlook.com, it's easy. But Ron finally figured it out and wrote the little script that does it. And that helps, because if you see that you got an email from somebody in the company, but it says on it that it's external, that means it came from outside. And you need to be aware of it. And it helped. I mean, they're happy now. I mean, it's still, and that's what the thing what Gal was talking about, trust and things like that. There is one way that we can uh, help the older people to listen to me, to understand it, Katie, not through a website. There are most young, and I'm not talking about 12 and 13-year-old. Most young people
Sorry.
out there, bless you, know about these things, and they probably know how to find out. It should be a family thing. It's just like educating the kids, and not to do this, and this is bad, and we're waiting for the government to do it for us. No, we need to take care of this. So if every family had somebody that they trust that knows their stuff, that person can save those people in the family. And and I'll bet you every family has somebody. Every family would know somebody, even if they're not from part of the family, that can help. And the trust is there. It's a step, even if it's not an expert. It's a step in the right direction for people that really don't know. And it's not a shame to say, I don't know. Can you help me?
Easier for you to say though.
Well,
It is.
I guess a lot of people do feel like, oh, I mean, I'm not going to ask. They're
absolutely
going to think I'm stupid. Well,
Mhm.
how are you going to think about it this way if you're listening? How are you going to feel once you fell for it and
agree.
your bank account was cleaned up? That's when you should feel stupid. I know it's
I-
easy. It's easy.
I think this
What an idiot.
conversation really isn't.
It's
Like,
not
I
an
feel
wait,
like-
wait, just a
wait,
second. Just say
oh, yeah.
it's not idiot, Nick. It's uninformed.
I know, but
Really?
you're, that's when you should
It's
feel
un-
stupid.
yeah.
It's just-
Go ahead,
I
Katie. I'm
guess-
sorry.
I guess, but no, what we're talking about is people that aren't necessarily listening to the show already, because the people that are listening to the show already
Yeah.
know, are educated on scams and stuff like that. We're like talking about hypothetical people that don't have a Computers 2K Now person in their life, which I'm just, that's who needs help. So
Yeah.
the solution to the problem is they need to listen to the show.
But it's exactly what I told that customer in the UK. I said, you should have, if you were listening to the show, he used to listen to it when he was here, but he stopped when he moved. I said, if you listen to it, you would know because it comes up many times. He said, yep, I'm guilty. I'll start listening. Yeah. But you can find somebody that you can trust and who can help you with these things.
We'll help you,
Just
people
just
that are
so
listening.
I understand.
What?
Just so I'll understand. The messages for the people who are not listening, listen to the show.
Yeah, I know.
Yep,
I
yep.
know.
How will they get the message?
I know.
So,
Katie?
okay, everybody now. Well, no, because what we're talking about, what we're talking about is stuff that people that have listening to the
I
show
agree.
already know. Like, this is redundant to them. They're probably like, move on. We hear this every time. We don't need to keep listening to this.
Yeah.
So we're putting a call to action to the people that are listening. Tell your family members, help them out, have them listen to the show. If they're at risk to being scammed, like, help them out by listening to us, basically. There we go. I'm done. Okay, change the subject.
I would phrase it this way: is if you're tired of telling your loved ones and family members and the people you care about why, send them to us. We'll tell them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, talk about something else.
All right. Let's see what we have here. A previously undocumented data wiper named Cry Wiper, CRY Wiper, is masquerading as ransomware, but in reality destroys data beyond recovery in attacks against Russian mayors' offices and courts. Cry Wiper was first discovered by Kaspersky this fall, where they said the malware was used in an attack against a Russian organization. CryWiper is a 64-bit Windows executable named Browser Update.exe, written in C++, configured to abuse many Win API function calls. Upon execution, it creates scheduled tasks to run every 5 minutes on the compromised machine. Next, it contacts a command and control server with the name of the victim's machine. The center responds with either a run or do not run command, determining whether the wiper will activate or stay dormant. Kaspersky reports seeing execution delays of 4 days, 345,600 seconds in some cases, likely added in the code to help confuse the victim as to what caused the infection. CryWiper will stop critical processes related to MySQL, MS SQL database servers, MS Exchange email servers, and MS Active Directory web servers to free locked data for destruction. And this is amazing. I mean, the delay is brilliant. You run something and nothing happens. Oh, so it must have been okay. It's
What I don't get is
yeah,
masquerading
as
as
a
crypto
yeah.
as if it's okay.
Well, no, yeah, no,
Right?
it's
It's like
masquerading as ransomware. Yeah, it's not okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So the masquerading part and that part I had to read the article is when you go to look for your files, right? You get the message, send money
yeah.
to this Bitcoin address. So they're wiping out everything. They're taking the ransom from those who pay, but you never get anything back. It's like, so what? You want to tell me that there's an unethical cyber criminal?
No, there's no such thing.
Exactly. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
A
Well,
scam is a scam. It's not,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
but it's, I
But yeah,
mean,
that's painful.
in the early days, that's what malware was.
Yeah, exactly.
It
That's
would
a
wipe your
standard
data.
Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Trojan.
now it's not only doing damage, it's also taking your money.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's why
Anyway,
I always found ransomware being such a bizarre concept, right? It's like, I understand you're in pain. I understand you lost your data, right? But paying ransom, like, does that even click as an option? Uh, how would you trust that this would actually, you'll get something back? And this one says, you're not.
well, all right, Nick, are you ready for specials?
I am.
Okay.
So let's see. All right. So we got our computers 2K, and I did some redesigns on the graphics.
Nice.
Here is the computers 2K now specials for let's see, December the 4th, 2022. All right. So we've got this weird or I shouldn't say weird, this old copy of Fortune magazine. The date is August the 26th, 1991. And this is the future of the PC. And it's Steve Jobs and Bill Gates sitting on a kind of a staircase. Um, I guess talking about computers. Saw that on the internet this week. Thought it was pretty neat. All right, let's get into specials. Kind of a weird mix of things over the next couple of weeks as we get towards Christmas. I'm trying to sprinkle in some cool gift ideas for people that are somewhat technology related. So you'll see some of those in here. Let's get it started though over here at Walmart. They've got the Lenovo the Lenovo IdeaPad 1i is the model number on this. And I had a very similar computer to this, still do, and used it for a couple of years. And it's a very cheap computer. It's $129. It's not amazing in terms of specs, but for a very simple computer to carry around in a backpack that's lightweight, that will hold a great charge, that is perfect for web browsing and sending email and Word docs and all of that stuff, which is what I primarily used it for. This thing is perfect. It's got a Intel Pentium N5 N5030, which is the chip, 4 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of eMMC memory, and it's running Windows 11. So you can check that out for just $129. They have this, you can order this and get it shipped. They also sell it in stores, so you can pick it up today at your local Walmart. depending on the stock there. I've got a computer very similar to this, and I was very happy with it. I just needed more power, so moved on from that. Next up is a higher end computer. Amnon would call this a top tier computer here. This is a Asus Tough gaming laptop. This is not a portable device in terms of size and comparison. It's not going to have great battery life, but boy, does it have some specs on it. So the screen on this, and this is a laptop, is the screen is 144 hertz refresh rate. So you're higher than your standard high refresh rate monitor built in. It runs a Ryzen 7. For some unbeknownst reason, it only has 8 gigabytes of RAM, but it can be updated. I don't know why this only has 8 gigs of RAM. Stupid. And it's paired with an NVIDIA RTX 3050 with a 512 gigabyte SSD, which is barely enough to hold any games. This is a really powerful computer for just $699. It's normally about $1,100, and you can get it on sale over at Best Buy.
It's a powerful computer to play only one game.
Yes, it does. Fortunately, it does have. It's an M.2 SSD, so you can put a new one in there. This is a really cool looking device. This is a very powerful laptop.
And it's probably heavy too.
It's heavy. It's bulky. It's loud. It's got no battery life. So if you're in the market for this, you know what you're looking for. Pretty hard to beat the price. You save nearly $400.
But it's
you got to act quick though. There's only 16 hours left on it.
It's tough, isn't it?
It is pretty tough. Yes. Thank you, Asus, for that, and Amnon for the callback. All right, next up, TVs. How about this? A 75-inch 4K TCL Roku TV for just $499. I mean, it's just bananas that this thing is so cheap. It is a TCL, but I don't think that's really even a problem. It's got the Roku built right into it. It's 4K. In terms of ports on it, it's got everything you could possibly need. 4 HDMI ports, one of them supporting eARC, so you could do audio pass-through to a sound bar. It's got USB, so you can play pictures and videos back. Still has coax for a cable, or in this case, an antenna. It'll support composite in with that. It's got a headphone output and an optical audio output as well. And it's a 75-inch television for $499. Save $300 on that. This is normally an $800 television. I might pick this up today and throw this on the TV stand because this thing is a monster for the price. Next up, keeping in the spirit of the holiday season, maybe you're looking for kind of maybe a gift in that $100 price range for a family or friend or somebody like that. Here's the Audio-Technica AT-LP60X. I have this turntable. I've had it for a couple of years. I've been very happy with it. This is not one of the ones that you find on Amazon where it's an all-in-one unit. This is just the turntable. So you will need to connect it to an amplifier or a pair of powered speakers to listen to anything. It's just strictly the turntable. It's got RCA audio outputs on the back, so you can connect it to a stereo system or something else. But this is just the turntable. I've been very happy with it. It's normally $150. It's on sale for $89, and that's available over at Adorama, which is a camera and video store based out of New York City. Next up, this is a really cool device. I did not realize that HP made a projector like this. I knew at one point they made big projectors, but they sell this little guy. It's the HP CC200, terrible model number, which is a projector that's got full connectivity in terms of ports. It's got an HDMI, 2 USB ports, and a headphone jack with a Roku Express. The Roku Express is not built in. You do have to connect it separately, but it comes with the Roku Express and a screen. So you get an 84-foot screen, 84-inch screen, the projector, and a Roku Express. Plus, this thing has got speakers built into it for just $139. This is a really cool. Item here, set of items, I should say. HP's a very reputable brand, so I don't think there's a big problem in terms of the quality of the projector. It is on the cheaper end, so if you've got a room with full lights on, you're probably not going to get the best picture. But out in the backyard or with the lights off, this is a cool little device. Pick it up for $137. available at Walmart, both in store and online.
Does it say how many lumens?
I'm sure it does.
Okay, never mind.
Let's
Keep going.
see.
It's okay.
Is don't know what the lumens is. I'll come
Okay.
back to it, or if
Okay.
somebody else
Okay.
could look it up, I'll come back to it at the end.
Okay.
This next one I had a question for. I wanted to ask our resident expert, Katie.
Yes.
I
have
found this on
opinions.
Amazon, Katie. This is a Wacom small tablet, or Wacom small Bluetooth graphics tablet. It's normally $100. It's on sale for $50. Do you think this is a good device to get into drawing? A good
Yes.
starter device?
I actually have opinions on this because I've had a Wacom tablet. So Wacom drawing tablets are the top of the top. Like they're AAA drawing tablets. The problem is they're astronomically expensive.
Mhm.
So for this small one, like if you have a friend or if you're looking into doing digital artwork, you can get a Wacom. This is a great deal. However, I would suggest getting a Huion, Huion, and they have a sale on Amazon right now for $50. So the same price, you can get a Huion. It's a bigger drawing tablet. It's 10 inches by 6.25 inch, which is basically, I guess, the size of a keyboard. That's what it looks like. So it's probably 3 or 4 times bigger than the small one. I don't know what the dimensions of the small one is. For the same price. And when it comes to digital art, personally, Wacom used to be the only brand that you could buy that was reliable, like
Yeah.
10 years ago. Nowadays, I go with the competitors. Again, this Chinese brand, I guess it's a Chinese brand. I don't know. I'm just assuming. But I have their digital display tablet, or not digital display drawing monitor. So it's like a huge big 30 it was like a 30-inch monitor that I draw on. I got it was like $350 back when I got it. I think nowadays I think it's around $300. But if you're interested in getting a drawing tablet, Huion is another brand. Bamboo is another brand that's really popular. um it like I said, Wacom is top tier and it will last a long time and they're amazing. But the competitors, you can get them at a fraction of the price. You can get a bigger tablet, and I feel like they're at that
Can you throw
point.
the link to yours in the chat?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll send it to the Discord and you post to the chat because
Yeah,
I
I can do
can't
that.
figure out how
All
to
right,
do
we'll
that.
take a look at that one after specials. I'll pull it up here on the screen. So, drawing tablets, again, this is a good price. There's always people in your life come Christmas time, holiday time, that you need like it's a $50 or $60 gift for. So there's some cool devices. Yeah, we'll take a look at this Huion coming up here in a few minutes. Let's see, where are we here? Next up, the Lenovo Smart Clock 2. This is an interesting device by Lenovo. This is another cool kind of Christmas gadget. This is just a smart clock. You can customize the display. There's a couple of apps that you can run on it. It's normally $70, and you can get it on sale for just $19 over at Lenovo's website. So you might want to check that out. Again, a nice little gift for that. Here's a great price. I was talking with Abby about this before we started the show. This is an Anker RoboVac. So the Anker brand that makes speakers and cables and a million other things on Amazon. This is their EUFY. I'm not sure how that's pronounced.
Eufy.
Clean.
Yeah.
This is essentially a Roomba, off-brand Roomba that will support house mapping. It connects to your phone. It's normally a $300 robot. It's on sale for just $98.
Wow.
So this is a pretty cool device. I might pick something like this up
Ugh.
and just kind of see how it operates. It's
That's
cheap
it.
enough where if it
I-
doesn't work, you can probably throw it on Facebook Marketplace and make your money back.
I have to stop. I'm gonna have to quit the show because I swear to God, you guys make me spend so much money because I've been looking
Yeah.
for a Roomba alternative, and I'm like, I don't need this right now. But now I'm like,
Well,
okay, can't beat that deal.
You can, and you can pick it up today at your local Walmart Supercenter. So it's on sale for $98 over at Walmart. Next up, another Anker product. This is their Soundcore set of speakers. These are really, really cool devices. This is their Flare 2 model. These are very powerful. They're water resistant. You can pair multiple of them together. I think you can pair up to 99 of them together, and they'll
What?
all play the same music, which is obviously ridiculous, but it's a cool feature that they support. Normally $80, and it's $80 on Amazon, but over at Walmart, again, you can pick this up today in store or order it online. You can get this for just $29. It's got a 360-degree listening range. It's IPX7 waterproof. You can connect 100 Flare Portable 2 devices together. You can adjust the RGB and the color and all of that stuff on it as well.
Wow.
A really nice speaker for just $30 over at Walmart.
Wait,
Next up,
I have a dumb question. Hold on.
Yes.
If so, my new computer says that it has Bluetooth. Could I hook my Bluetooth computer, whatever, up to the speaker?
You should be able to.
Should be able to.
Because we were making fun of why would you buy speakers for your computer or whatever that plug in. And now with my new computer, my old speakers don't work. So I'm looking for a speaker alternative to hook up to my new computer.
Check that the device on your computer is not just a receiver and it's also a transmit.
Ah, okay. I'll look that up.
Because it might be, and I'm not exactly sure. Next up, keeping in the spirit of kind of technology Christmas things, here's a Philips Sonicare 4100 powered toothbrush. So it's kind of technology. You plug it in. This is normally $50 on sale for $29. This is the deal of the day. The next item up here. This is the Razer Kishi, which is their brand name, mobile gaming controller. So what you're looking at there is a phone between two different devices on each side. This looks very similar to Logitech's new G Cloud device. You get the Kishi, which is normally a $100 device, plus a set of the Razer Hammerhead wireless earbuds, which are a $70 device. Both of these things are just $50 available over at Costco. It's a pair, it's a pack. They come together. This is by far the best special of the day. This is a phenomenal gift for a nephew, a niece, a son, grandson, whatever it might be. I will note that this it's USB-C, so this is for Android devices, and you want to check the compatibility on this. But this is a hell of a deal, available over at Costco. Finally, Gal, I put this in there just for you. This is the Seagate 18 terabyte Exos X18 Enterprise hard drive, which is normally $450. It's on sale for just $270 over at Newegg. So 18 terabytes of storage for $270. And then finally, last week we were talking about Twitch streamers and streaming from their hot tub, and Katie thought it was a good idea for Amnon to do this. So Amnon, for $168. You did. You said it was a good idea. So
I'm
Amnon,
pretty sure that was you.
no, you said you wanted Amnon to do change it to his background.
Oh yeah, background. Okay, yeah. Not actually him get into the hot tub.
Well, okay. Well, I'm saying he needs to go all in. So here for $168, Amnon, you can get a Best Way Sol Spa. This is a 71 by 26 inch airjet inflatable hot tub that you can put in your studio for just $168, and then you can stream on Twitch and ask people for money. You'll find that over at Walmart. Free pickup. You can get that today over at Walmart. And that is specials for this.
Pull up the tablet that I sent you.
Let me do that real quick here.
Again, the Wacom tablet is an excellent tablet. Anybody that is a digital artist, they probably know that Wacom's the brand to go with. However, they're uber expensive. But I've had a human, and it's been great, and it's a fraction of the price.
So let's see. Let me open this up in incognito so I don't give everybody press. And all right, so here it is. This is the one that Katie is recommending. So let's take a look at these.
I didn't look at anything. Sorry, I'm talking. Other than the brand, the price, and the size.
So in comparison to the other one, this one is a lot larger. It's got buttons on it. So yeah, this has got great reviews. I mean, there's nearly 7,000 reviews, and it's got 4.5 star. And actually, it's cheaper than $49. You get another 15% off if you add it to your cart. So it's probably like $43 or $44
Right, but note one thing: this one isn't wireless. The other one was
Correct.
wireless.
Yeah,
Right,
that's the
so-
thing about Wacom is their pins. They're here. Oh, so this is
It's not a big deal. It's just notice that.
Yeah.
right?
yeah. So the thing about Wacom, which is really great, is that you don't ever have to charge the pins to use. So these are the digital pins that you draw on the tablets with or whatever. This is a human one, and it comes with a charger. So every now and then you actually have to charge it. It's honestly, I'd rather save a couple $100 by having to charge my pin every now and then than to get one that's wireless. Oh, and not only that,
No,
but
hold on. That's not what I'm talking about. The tablet there was wireless.
oh, was it?
The Wacom one, yeah, it was
Huh.
Bluetooth.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I have a Wacom tablet and it's not Bluetooth, but the pin is.
Yeah, I know.
So, and then another thing to note too, I'm like getting super into this, but if I lose this pin, it costs like $12 to $20 to replace. If you lose a Wacom pin, it costs $60 to $100 to replace.
Yeah, I
I've
understand.
lost a Wacom pin and I had to dish out like $75. And this was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. So that if you go for Wacom, just know that everything costs more. So think about that before you buy it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. What are you looking at, Nick? All right.
Yeah, that's special. Check it out.
Oh, thank you. This was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to pepper in some kind of gift items over the next couple weeks. So
Thank you very much. All right. Let's go back to story. Katie, people use VR. Apple has decided to call the software that runs on its upcoming AR/VR headset XROS,
Mm,
an update from the original Reality OS or ROS. Naming the company was planning on, according to Bloomberg. So,
okay. That's funny when I talked about VR, like anything like in a meeting or whatever, and I'm talking about this new experience. I always say it's XR, VR, AR, anything that ends in an R and has an X, I do it. Like
all right. So, yeah, so it's XROS. All right, listen to this here. Prime Video has replaced Netflix as the number one subscription streaming outlet in the US
how are they measuring that?
in an annual ranking compiled by research firm Parks Associates. The company didn't disclose its methodology for how it isolates the number of Prime Video subscribers,
There you go.
a metric long cloaked in secrecy due to Amazon's general reluctance to disclose statistics about its Prime business. Still, Parks has been a reputable tracker of the streaming space for more than a decade. For many years in the 2010s, its ranking looked consistent with the former big three of Netflix, Prime Video, and Hulu sharing the top 3 spots. Always with Netflix at the top. Last week, the rankings are much more fragmented, given how many new players have entered the scene. The list reflects total subscribers through September 2022 via the OTT Video Market Tracker, a Parks offering described by the firm as an exhaustive analysis of market trends and profiles of the nearly 100 over-the-top video service providers in the U.S. and Canada. Now,
Okay.
this is in the U.S. Remember, Netflix in the U.S.
I have
Just saying.
questions because
Yeah.
I've the so they won't first of all, they got this information from September 2022, right? So like a couple months ago.
Up to, yeah.
Up to. And second of all, they won't tell us how
Right.
they are measuring it because here's the asterisk. Every time you if you get an Amazon Prime subscription just for buying Amazon products and
Mhm.
using Amazon Prime, you get Prime Video. So like, or how are they separating that? Because that's a huge market of millions of people in the US that have Amazon Prime, not because they want Prime Video, but because they want Prime shipping. So
True.
if you're comparing the two, that it's like apples and oranges. It's like when if Netflix is just the streaming and the video. So people that are subscribed to Netflix, they're only going after the video and the streaming. The Amazon Prime stuff is like, oh, 99% of our business is Amazon Prime shipping and marketplace. Oh, by the way, here's video to it. And now we're the number one video streaming service because all of our millions of people get Amazon Prime included in their subscription.
I really doubt that people who have Prime and they have the Prime Video with it, that they don't use Prime Video to watch content on Prime Video. They probably, most of them do use it. Maybe not as the primary one.
I would say, Amnon, you are incorrect.
Really?
Most people are oblivious of the video.
Yep.
I mean, they get the notifications, they get the ads of use the video. They haven't switched it on even once because
Yeah, go ahead.
this
sorry.
isn't what they paid for.
Yep. Yeah.
So and yes, there are some that that switch to it, but unless you bought a Fire TV, right, then setting it up is a chore, right? Because you need to
Yes.
do a login to your Amazon, thinking about it from the TV point of view, right? You bought a Roku not to watch Amazon. You bought a Roku maybe to watch Netflix, maybe to watch Hulu, Disney Plus, stuff like that, right? So I think most consumers of the Amazon ecosystem, unless they subscribed to the ecosystem and not just the Prime membership for shipping, they don't even switch it on.
This is why I think this statistics. I mean, it's just a bunch of BS unless they tell us how they measure it. Because it'd be like if Netflix combines with, I don't know, eBay, another very popular marketplace, right? And so everybody that has an eBay account now gets Netflix. And so Netflix comes out and they're like, oh, our viewership or whatever, our membership quadrupled because we now every eBay user now has a Netflix account. That's kind of like what Amazon's doing. Every Prime account has Prime Video. That doesn't mean that everybody with the Prime account watches Prime Video. So that's why I'm like, this is like a useless article. Unless they're measuring it in some way where it's just focusing on the people that are watching Prime Video, but then they don't release that information. So it's I don't know.
I mean, the same is true with Disney Plus, right? If you remember when Disney Plus started, it's what 2020 we're talking about, right?
Mhm.
And the numbers were like skyrocketing at the beginning. But you need to remember, everybody in AT&T got a year free of Disney Plus, right? It was like automatic. Everybody who buys an iPhone gets, I don't know, 6 months for free,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, and so it's all about, we never, and the thing is, we never get to see the numbers. We
Yep.
never get to see the source here. It's not like UN curated data about capita per total gross income per capita and stuff like that, right? It's not like open
Mhm.
data that we can
Yeah.
tap into and read. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the reason I asked about the date too, that So if it goes till September of 2022, those numbers might be inflated already for Amazon Prime, because maybe people are subscribing or have got a new subscription to Amazon Prime because they know the holidays are coming up and they got to buy gifts and they want to save on shipping. So like those
Yeah.
are artificially inflated numbers for Amazon Prime Video, because correlation's not causation or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. It just discredits the article or the statistic.
The moment they
Yeah.
hide something, they're hiding more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you there.
So the next article tying to this goes the cord cutting phenomena that the cable and broadcast sector long denied or downplayed simply shows no sign of slowing down. According to the latest data by Leachman Research, the top U.S. pay TV companies lost another 785,000 subscribers last quarter as younger Americans continue to shift to streaming video, over the air antennas, or free services like TikTok and YouTube. While alternative pay TV services, streaming on demand and live streaming, saw a 701,000 subscriber jump during the third quarter. Traditional cable companies lost an estimated 981,674 subscribers depart for greener pastures. Phone companies like AT&T, Verizon, and traditional satellite TV companies lost 701,000 paying customers during the quarter.
This isn't a surprise.
No, it's not.
It's because cable is too expensive. It's why I don't have cable. It's why my mom cut the cord. It's why
Yep.
other family members are cutting the cord.
Yep.
When they had Spectrum or AT&T, their monthly bill was $250. That is ridiculous. Like this is a direct response to how expensive cable was or is. So if they want people to come back, make it cheaper.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, at this point,
Nah.
they it's too late. There's gonna have to be a new, not necessarily technology, but like a new thing that they're gonna have to do to reinvent themselves or something. They have to offer a service that makes it worth it, both
Right.
in value and the service it provides. And right now, their old system, it does not cut it.
Right, but I mean, this isn't cord cutting, right? We talked about it. This is just replacing one service by another.
By another.
And the cable companies, they're calling it cord cutting. But one thing that isn't being cut is the cable company, because they are the ones who are still supplying the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The
right?
access.
So it's like it's an aspect of their business that is being hurt, but they already have the backup plan. They are providing the infrastructure that you're still getting your content on, right? And so always in this conversation, I feel like it's either a large corporation crying boo-hoo, I'm not going to make sorry, I can't speak today, a billion anymore. I can make only 900 million, right? It's like, because I chose not to shift my focus to where the market is going. And it's like, are they trying to shame me as a consumer because I don't want to pay the charges that they're asking me for?
No.
And I'm preferring to go with somebody's offering me an alternative. It's like the conversation is, I feel, is no longer controlled. The narrative is no longer controlled by the consumer. It's always controlled by the companies getting hurt.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let me say
Right.
this, and I'm not a fan of the cable industry. I'm not a I'm not a big cable guy, but the margins on cable TV versus the margins on internet are significantly higher, and that's why they're
Yeah.
really feeling. That's why they're like an internet bill is what, 60, $70 a month, still good margin, but a cable bill is like $200 a month. So the margin is much, much bigger on TV.
Right, right. But remember, on those $200
Mhm.
cable, they pay so much, right?
They
that
do.
they do not get to keep most of that.
No, they don't keep all of it. Agreed. They do pay
Exactly.
out the royal. They pay for the coverage, so that's why when
Right.
when somebody gets dropped from DirecTV or dropped from Spectrum or Comcast, it's because they can't agree on a rate. And the way that it works is Spectrum pays a rate per customer to ESPN or to Disney, whoever owns those channels, and it's a rate per customer. And that's where you get into some of these. Like, for example, there's one with going on right now between Fox and DirecTV. The Fox network is like Fox News Channel, and some of that stuff are in the could be dropped. They always come to an agreement, but there's always a couple of weeks or months potentially where there's some back and forth. So
I have a question, and I don't know if you guys follow this or not, but I heard years ago that they were trying to get internet under as a basic service. That's what is it called? Something that is a service,
Utility.
public utility.
a public utility, and yeah, and then that way the government regulates how much a provider can charge for it. That if it's like a service that is necessary, then they can't astronomically charge for it because everybody has to have it or whatever. And I think that they were trying to get internet provided under that. And I don't know if it passed or not, but
No.
if it did, then the providers wouldn't be, because here's an alternative that you were talking about. If the cable providers are also providing the internet, right? So if they lose the revenue stream from the cable, then theoretically they can jack up the internet prices to make up the difference. But if it comes underneath as a basic need, then they can't jack up the prices too high or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not super knowledgeable about
And
it.
they're still gonna make money on it, right? It's not like internet is a losing business.
Mhm.
Even in the rates that it's running today, which are still like growth and there's a reason we're doing this right now over the internet, right? It makes so much more sense doing it. It's not too expensive for us. It's not too expensive for the listeners who are reaching us. So it needs to stay that way, right? Otherwise, it's meaningless.
Yeah. I just
I
am hinting
I
at
am
the
very anti the government getting into the idea of determining cable to be a public utility.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the idea was that it was supposed to help and save consumer costs, but look at what's going on with Duke Energy right now, which is a public utility, and their rates are about to skyrocket, and it's been approved by the Utilities Commission, at least in North Carolina. It kind of, to me, it just defeats the whole purpose. It
I
doesn't.
think that
It doesn't seem
becomes
to
a whole
matter.
other thing too, where Duke Energy has a monopoly on the energy in North
But
Carolina.
they're a public utility, and
Yeah.
they're under the and they're managed, and they when they do a rate increase, it has to be approved by the state, and it is been approved by the Utilities Commission.
Mm.
So it's like you do this in hopes to get, a more realistic rate, and now your energy bill is going to go up by 25%, and it was approved by the government, which is just insane.
And talking about rates going up, the Comcast broadcast TV fee that isn't included in the company's advertised prices is rising again, tacking as much as $27 onto the monthly bill of cable TV users. Comcast
Holy moly.
broadcast TV and regional sports network fees combined could add nearly $40 to a customer's monthly TV bill after next month's price hikes, all while Comcast advertises much lower prices than people actually pay. Comcast has started notifying customers and municipalities that it plans to raise video and internet prices next month, including a whopping $7.35 a month increase for the broadcast TV fee in one town. A TV Answerman article said on Saturday. The $7.35 per month increase is in Massachusetts, where Comcast said the broadcast TV fees will rise from $18.65 to $26. So they're advertising, yeah, oh, we're only like $15 a month. But yeah, there are fees about $60. I mean, this is the other side of not having somebody regulating them. But I am against the regulation because if there is a regulation, then companies lose the incentive to develop newer technologies and anything because they say, okay, we can't charge them. We're just going to stay the way it is until something happens. There's something bad happens and we have to. But when they make
So
money,
I just looked up. I just pulled up Xfinity, which is Comcast's cable
yeah.
TV thing. They're pretty much regular TV plan with like all the channels, like 125 channels, is $67 a month advertised.
Mhm.
And you said another
Twenty
$20 on top of that.
27 or 40
Wow.
even.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a significant amount of money there. Wow. But those broadcast fees, those are also from the local channels.
Yes.
For example, when you have your local ABC, NBC, or CBS affiliate that is on cable, they have to pay a fee to cover that, as they should.
Absolutely, but it should be part of the advertised.
I agree.
It's not like
agree.
some people don't get those.
No, I
So
couldn't agree
it's
more.
it's
But yeah, I think
Go
I'm
ahead.
getting too far off track. I think regulation often sounds great on paper and it sounds
Right.
like it will protect people, but in practicality, it almost never does.
Yep.
And it just creates more problems than it's worth. There are cases where it does, but those cases are far and few in between.
Well, let's be clear. You get regulation stepping in when there is chaos in the marketplace, and the marketplace isn't necessarily behaving in the benefit of the consumer. So while you are right that usually the way regulation comes in, it doesn't actually solve all the problems, right? Not regulating it usually creates chaos. I think the main reason we don't see regulation step in to full action yet on the internet front is exactly this. It's the market hasn't been abusing the consumer too much yet. When that will happen, the only other action would be regulation. But then everybody's complaining about the regulation because now everybody's stagnated. Everything is stagnated because everything works in the rate of government instead of the rate of a free market, right? So it's a chicken and the egg thing, right? Neither are perfect. There's no good solution. But right now, for now, it seems like we're okay, but there is a worrying trend, right? We do see Comcast, right, the Comcast-like companies, right, raising the prices whenever they want, and they do not need any approval. They do not need to go through it. On the other hand, you have the Duke Energies, right, where they control part of the government that takes that makes the decisions, right? And so there's always needs to be a balancing act, and I wish it was easy and regulation wasn't needed, right? But sometimes it's a necessary evil. I hope we're not there yet. That's all.
No, we're not. All right. Nick, I need your take on this.
Hmm.
And Nick was here Friday night, came by and was reading tweets. In a series of tweets last Monday, Elon Musk said Apple had mostly stopped advertising on Twitter and had threatened to withhold the Twitter app from the App Store. Musk said the iPhone maker won't disclose why it is making the threat. Did you see that tweet?
Yeah, but
I
they did
did.
disclose.
I did see, and then I saw that Elon had a meeting with, as Trump called him, uh, Steve Apple, or not, what the hell's, who's the guy that's at,
Team Apple.
Tim Apple, yes, instead Tim
Yeah.
Cook, Tim Apple. So I saw Elon was at Apple's, was it Cupertino campus, earlier this week after that came out. So, hopefully all is well. But yeah, I tell you what, this would have been a very, very bad decision on the front of Apple to remove. And if there's still a possibility they do it, to remove Twitter from the App Store would have been a
But
very, very
Why
poor decision.
why were they thinking about doing it?
Because
Did-
they're
did-
falling for the same bullshit that everybody else is, that the platform is now,
Oh.
falling into disrepair and everything.
No, hold on. There's more to it. So,
Like what?
one thing that Elon Musk wants to do with Twitter, he does not want to pay the Apple tax, right? The 30% or some of the right. He wants to gain subscribers, $8 a month subscribers, but he doesn't want to pay the
Twitter Blue.
rates for what Apple takes on every payment made through Apple Pay. So so there's that. So the battle is Twitter wants Apple to stop grabbing their money on one end, right? And this goes to what we talked about Epic Games in the past, and other companies trying to loosen the grip of Apple and Google's app stores charges. So that's one part. Apple is claiming that Twitter isn't making them a lot of money anyway, right? So even if they go away from the App Store, from Apple's side, it's not a great loss financially. And they are concerned about harmful content in Twitter. One of the things Twitter has allowed, and by the way, I'm not sure that this has something to do directly with Musk's purchase, is Twitter allows what's called NSFW, right? Not safe for work content in a hidden. You need to click and approve in order to see it, and that means that it's violating one of the basics of Apple's App Store guidelines of not allowing certain types of content like pornography, etc., violence, stuff like that. So Elon Musk is pulling the freedom of speech card on one end, right? And Apple are trying to pull their community guidelines on the App Store guidelines on their end. And it's a commerce battle that we're all watching, right? And eventually something will be settled by the two. I am guessing Elon Musk will get some sort of discount on the charges, and everybody will be happy, and it'll continue, and nobody will be wiser. That's my take on this.
Couple
They
of
can,
things there. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
they
go ahead.
can. Just one more thing, right? They can just drop the option to pay through Apple Pay, but then they cannot, on the Apple app, they cannot show anything that says here is how you can pay, because that's against the rules too. So there's a balancing act there. That's what's driving most of this right now.
The battle of Fortnite and Epic and Apple that's been played out. And
Right.
Twitter is now looking at the same thing. But to cover your last point about the community standards over Twitter, which is something that Apple made out, is the biggest crock of shit in the world.
Completely
Twitter
agree.
has been littered with pornography and explicit content for years. And it's
Yeah.
just pretty ironic now to see Apple and even the federal government now claiming that they want to start looking into some of this content that has been littering this platform for years. Funny that we didn't want to look at it when it was a publicly traded company with shareholders, but now that a private entity owns it, that the
Oh.
government needs to get involved. It's just so laughable.
That's a few years ago. Tumblr. I don't know if you guys covered Tumblr or not, but it's another social
Mhm.
media platform, and they removed their not safe for work content where it was because Apple told them, okay, we're going to take your app off of our thing because you have 18 plus material on your website. So they completely
Yeah.
banned that
Like
stuff.
90% of the content was that.
Well,
Yeah.
there was
And
a
what
lot.
happened to Tumblr, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, Tumblr's still around, and
Who's using it?
I'm using it. How dare you?
All right, fine.
And,
You're using it.
but the funny thing is all of those people went to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So they all went to Twitter, or they made their own OnlyFans, and but now Tumblr, I guess, got bought, switched hands. I don't know what's going on, but I heard recently that they're allowing their 18 plus content again. And what was funny is they were making fun of Twitter, and they said for $8 you can get 2 blue check marks instead of 1. and people were buying it, like they were buying double check marks. And not only that, but you can stack the check marks. So people were buying a bunch of check marks, and so it was like their username with like 20 check marks next to it. And it was funny. Anyways, Tumblr's funny.
Well,
And a lot of people it's like people are swinging back to Tumblr. So people that were on Twitter and now they're leaving it, they're going to Tumblr, and Tumblr's like, no, go away. You left us already.
The other big Twitter story this week, I'll keep it brief because it is political, but it is interesting, was Elon on Friday night had released through Matt Taibbi, who is a journalist, released a series of tweets, about 40 of them, that documented internal communications about how Twitter censored some less than favorable political conversations surrounding, at the time, candidate Joe Biden's son. And it was very interesting to see how a platform as powerful and as influential as Twitter came to that decision. What I found most interesting is that there was a lot of people internally that said, this is ridiculous. We should not be doing this. And they were essentially outcast for having that opinion. And it even appeared, at least from the early part of it, that the CEO of the company, who was Jack Dorsey, really had no control over what was going on at the company. He was the CEO, CEO in name only, CEO or I guess is what you say, because he was not part of any of these conversations. Nothing was brought up to him. He was just the guy in charge, but had no control over anything that was going on. Pretty remarkable. So if you're looking for an interesting read, search up Twitter New York Post Hunter Biden story. It's very, very eye-opening to see the internal communication.
the other where was it? The other social media situation is involving Parler,
Ah, yes.
and they announced Thursday that they reached a mutual agreement with Kanye West to terminate the sale of the social media app.
Huh. I wonder why.
The deal already was on life support, as Axios previously reported, and it's unclear if a formal merger agreement was ever signed. So Kanye West is not. Oh, yeah, is that the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, is not buying it.
Yay. It's
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah,
Kanye.
yeah.
Exactly.
The
He,
decision was made.
he's got some serious problems.
Yep.
If you saw his he was on Alex Jones's program this week.
Mhm.
And when Alex Jones is interviewing you and goes, we need to take a commercial break because this is getting out of hand, you know that you've really, that is a direct quote. You know that you have really played the gambit when Alex Jones says this is a little crazy.
When the troll is being trolled, right?
Yes. And I saw an interesting post from one of Alex's, one of the guys that works for InfoWars, when Kanye was on Wednesday Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon. They had 27 million hits to their website. That was their Mac 27. Like it was a screenshot of their Google Analytics thing, and it was a peak of 27.8 or something active users. Remarkable. amount of traffic.
Wow. Yeah. So Parler is looking for somebody else.
I mean, okay. And nobody uses Parler or Truth Social or anything else. Everybody's on Twitter and Facebook. No offense, Kate.
Well, Trump is using Truth.
Yeah, but again, nobody else is. So who
I know.
cares?
I sold my soul to the Chinese government. I'm on TikTok.
No, I meant Tumblr. I didn't mean to say nobody's using Tumblr, but I mean everybody's on Twitter and Facebook. Those are the giants. Yeah, Mastodon's got a little bit of some. Couple people
Mastodon got
decided
some
to
love
try it.
because of all
Yeah,
the
but then it
trouble,
really
but
quickly
yeah.
subsided when they realized when all the it's funny to see a bunch of journalists, left-wing journalists, boycotted Twitter and created their own Mastodon instance, and then they realized that there was nobody on their Mastodon instance except for other left-wing journalists, and they all started fighting with each other about who was left-wing enough, and it was pretty ironic to see how that all went down. But yeah, the biggest problem with the social media network, unlike that isn't mass adopted, is there's just nothing going on. And if there's no content, there's no point.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people use Twitter and Facebook, because there's stuff going on. That's why they use Reddit, because there's stuff going on. It is, Gal mentioned before, it's the chicken and the egg. It's the same thing with these social media outlets. People don't want to use them because there's no people on there. And you can't have people on there if nobody wants to use it because there's nothing there. So it's a really tough nut to crack.
It's never about the technology. It's
No.
always about who is using it. So yeah. The only reason we are still talking about Facebook is because everybody at one point has interacted with it, right? And so many are still there. Same with Twitter, the same with anything else. And I'm guessing the only one that's actually growing right now is probably Reddit. It's because it hasn't become. I know you have some bad experience on the political side, but this platform hasn't really been aligned politically with anything. It has everything there, right? And it has a place for everyone there, sort of. Still. So yeah, it's never about how it starts. It's all about how it sustains on the long term. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with the with the instant message applications that we were talking about, right? Signal, Telegram, WhatsApp, all of that drama. It's always about who's using, and not how it's used or what the technology is. It's not a tech problem, even though we talk about it in tech all the time. It's not a tech problem. It's a community standards problem, right? It's a
political.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. LastPass says unknown attackers breached its cloud storage using information stolen during the previous security incident from August 2022. Company added that once in, the threat actors also managed to access customer data stored in the compromised storage service. We recently detected unusual activity within a third-party cloud storage service, which is currently shared by both LastPass and its affiliates.
This is the equivalent of 70s movies about bank heists to safety deposit boxes, right? Like, this is literally it. It's the larger the bank is, right, the more lucrative of a target it is.
Sure.
And LastPass has become, because it was one of the first on the scenes to provide this service, right, has become such an interesting target. I used to pay for LastPass, right, every year because I would trust it. The moment I stepped away was when I started realizing this is too much of this has become a large target. It's no longer a moving target. It is huge. It is pulling interest. I don't want to trust it anymore, right? And I know others did it as well, and solutions have started. Now it's not like I have a better solution. It's just I'm just a smaller target that is a lot less interesting. That's
Yep.
all.
Yep.
I am the equivalent of the sign on the lawn that says protected by a security system, right? Just go steal from the other guy.
Yeah.
It's like this is terrible.
Yeah.
I really feel for the people who have been exposed because the stress level is huge. I have in my personal vault, I have thousands of passwords, and out of them, probably I don't know, 2%, 3% can actually hurt me if somebody gets access to them, right? So, yeah,
Yeah. Let's
start
hope.
changing passwords, people. If you're using LastPass, like there's nothing else you should do at this point.
Right. Just change it. Absolutely.
Yeah, go and change passwords everywhere.
All right. Japanese electronics and printer maker Epson announced
They're
that.
Japanese.
Yeah, I didn't know that
didn't
either.
realize that.
That's interesting. It will end the sale and distribution of laser printer hardware by 2026, citing sustainability issues. According to the company, inkjets have a greater potential than laser printers to make meaningful advances when it comes to the environment. Even though new hardware would be unavailable everywhere, Epson said it would continue to support consumers with consumables and spare parts. And I saw this article. I said, sure, because with inkjets, they can charge for almost next to nothing material. They can charge a lot. I mean, when I
Yep.
used to help Nabil over at the flea market here years ago with refilling cartridges, Epson was the pain in the ass to turn over because it wasn't just get the cartridge, clean it, fill it up, and the customer can go and put it in. They had all kind of counters inside and electronics that you had to reset. So of course they can make more money from that than they can from lasers, and people need to change it a lot more often because it dries out. Lasers do. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm sure there's some things in there that I'm not thinking of, but I never recommended Epson anything to anybody. Epson is yeah, they are Japanese. And I thought my hearing is going.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Some people turn on closed captions because they like how it helps them understand the plot lines of shows and movies. I do that. I mean,
I do it.
I am losing hearing. And multitask in front of the tube.
Yep.
Others turn them on because they can't hear what actors are saying. That doesn't always mean they are hard of hearing. Muddled audio is at the top reason why more people are watching video with on screen text, according to a May survey commissioned by language teaching app Preply. As more video production studios embrace advanced audio formats for at home content, not every device can keep up. Plenty of viewers can't keep up, either if you have people talking or shouting during an adventure scene. The explodey sound are way higher than the dialogue, says Melanie Brooks, a 43-year-old professional musician in Boston. Catching some of the lines in her favorite fantasy and adventure TV series is hard without captions. She added, people tend to blame their flat screen TVs for bad sound. The tube TVs of decades past had front facing speakers that sent audio towards you, while new super thin models have speakers that are behind the screen or provide downward bouncing sound away from you. But your TV is just one of the culprits. The rest of the problem lies within virtually every other step of the audio process, from a studio production choices to devices used to watch the content.
Amnon,
Yes,
let's stop giving them a platform
a
here.
platform.
It's full of crap, right? Because the truth is, you record people speaking, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't matter the quality, doesn't matter the audio processing. Words are going to be blurred
Yep.
by other words, by action, by movement, or just by an accent or just a way an actor speaks, right? Which might be very, very hard to understand.
Yes, soft.
And
Too
so
soft.
it's so easy using captions, right?
Yeah.
It solves so much.
Yep.
I look, most of my experience with content, right, is with captions. Since I've been, because in Israel,
Yeah,
everything
it's
is
all-
captioned.
Right.
Dubbing has been something that has been introduced only to children material and very late in the process. In Europe, there's a whole dubbing culture, but over in Israel, that never it was
Never
too
took-
expensive to
yeah.
dub, so it was always captions. I can tell you that watching stuff with captions, and I watch stuff in English with English captions,
Right.
right? I get so much more of the content.
Yep.
I am not struggling. I don't need to blast the audio to maximum. And even if it was blast to the audio to maximum, is it'll be unintelligible to me sometimes. So captions are the best. I've been to a premiere show. Kevin Smith, the guy behind Clerks, showed up. Clerks 3 over here in Durham, and they switched on captions because it was supposed to be also an accessible showing, right? And I can tell you, this was a complete bliss, right? Because you got every punchline. It doesn't matter if the audience were laughing or not, or right. You didn't miss a beat. Everything was there. So yeah, yay for
Yeah.
captions. That's what I can say.
I want to add my experience to this because back when Netflix first started streaming, when they got rid of their DVDs or whatever, mom and I shared an account, and we just had the one account. There was no like multiple profiles or whatever.
Right.
And she turned on the captions, and it drove me crazy. But I got over that quickly because it was so much easier. And now, even though we have separate accounts or whatever, I'd say 99% of the time, I always have the captions on. I never turn them off. And if there's something and I have the option to turn on captions, I'm turning it on, and I can hear just fine. Like this is when I was late teens, early 20s, and I can hear fine. But what I've run into on the streaming platforms, and another reason why I love captions is that these like Hulu, they don't have regulations on their ads as far as the noise. So the show could be really quiet, so you turn up the volume, and then when it cuts to an ad, it's like yelling at you so loud. So I turn down the volume when I know like there's an ad or whatever, because I have captions anyways, it doesn't matter. So then when the ads do come on, it's now at like a normal level instead of like yelling. But
No.
yeah, I ever since mom turned on the captions, I've never turned them off.
Yeah, I mean, when you get used to use the caption, it's ridiculous on some channels. I would say, not some shows. I mean, the captions maybe 5-10 seconds late.
Yeah.
It's
They
rid-
usually
because
do that.
they're transcribed by a human
Yeah.
in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are usually live events. If there's a live event, there's a person that's doing
Well,
that.
I mean, I remember a few years ago, Nick, remember that there was some app that we could install to create captions.
It wasn't
And
an app, it was a website.
it was a website. That's right.
Yeah.
and it was right on the money.
It was pretty good.
So I
This
don't
is
know.
becoming better and better.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
mean, today on your phone,
Yeah.
right? If you have, I'm pretty sure iPhone has something similar, but on Android, uh, probably 2 versions back now, when you switch when you change the volume, there's a button there to activate captions, and the AI, the same one that understands when you're talking to Google Assistant, right? That AI writes the captions on the screen of any audio that's playing. It doesn't matter from what app, just because it's coming through the speakers. So you already have that technology today. It's not perfect, but it works, right?
I tried to activate captions for our show, and it just won't work. I can't figure out how to do it. Now, if you go right now to Facebook and watch the show on Facebook, you get captions. Not here on Facebook, but actually go to Facebook. But
Yeah, it's probably limited.
the embed does not bring the captions in, even though it said, and I know on YouTube you can enable, but I couldn't. I mean, it just doesn't work. If somebody can figure out and let me know, I would love that. Yeah. All right, and here is the last one for today. Japanese camera manufacturers are bidding farewell to a once major component of their operation, with Panasonic Holdings and Nikon suspending development of entry-level point-and-shoot cameras under the flagship brand. So they focus resources on pricier mirrorless mirror, but this is all because of smartphones.
I was about to say,
Of course.
isn't
Yep.
yeah, it's like that's because everybody has a phone in their pocket or
Yep.
a camera in their pocket with the phone.
But I mean, it's amazing when you think about those big companies. And nope, we can't do anything. We can't.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of misleading. They're doing with the point and click
Yeah.
Line,
Right.
right? But they are still developing
for the-
lenses for phones. So it's just the point and click has become completely embedded into phones. And if you want a point and click, just buy you can buy a cheap phone. It'll be as good as a point and click,
Yeah,
right?
you don't
So,
need service.
Yeah.
Ask somebody in the family. They
Exactly.
probably have an old phone and just take it and
Yeah. Or
yeah.
buy a tablet or something, right? It
Yeah.
contains a lens there. It's yeah.
Yeah.
They're no longer gonna make $1 billion. They're just gonna make 900 million. That's all.
Or they're gonna make more from those
Yeah.
high-end cameras. All right. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
It's got to be something else.
Mm.
Hank?
What?
Something.
No.
I already told people about my cool new computer.
Yeah.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
get a new toilet today. That's cool.
Is it smart? Does it connect to your?
No, it's a dumb
Oh.
toilet.
Is it a what?
My
No
new
Wi-Fi?
place. No Wi-Fi. My new place, the toilets were made for people that were like 4 feet high or something. So it's like my knees come up to my ears. So we can get a taller toilet.
Nice.
I'm upset that you didn't get a smart one. That's a missed opportunity.
I spent all of my smart allowance on my new computer and keyboard and monitor. I did not buy the
Said they
gunk.
they even make a smart toilet.
You know they do. Every Japanese
let's
house
see.
has
Home
one.
Depot,
That's like
smart
the
toilet.
thing of
Holy
Japan.
moly! Toilet is $1,700.
Yeah, and okay, now that
Wow.
we're talking about this, I kind of want one because they have a heated seat. But then now that I think about it, my house is warm anyways. I don't live in a cold place.
Look at this
so
guy.
never
Comfy,
mind.
warm, heated seat, soft closing lid, adjustable bidet nozzle, dryer, auto flushing, foot sensing technology.
I
It
love
doesn't
how-
have a tank.
I love how you said bidet.
That's how it's pronounced, isn't it?
Boy day.
It's bidet. But it's
Yeah.
bidet, yeah.
Oh, look at this guy. Wow. Yeah, look at that. Smart.
Yeah, but you have to
Does it
turn
connect your
around.
phone, though? I don't know. Smart with remote app and auto flush. I want to see the smartphone. What does it look like?
Does it have a webcam?
Oh my god. I regret
You
bringing
want to
this
make
up. Let's end the
sure
show.
everything's
We're done.
okay down there.
The
We're done.
colonoscopy cam, Kyle, is what they call it.
No, we're done. I regret
Look at
all of
this
my
one.
life choices leading up to this moment.
This toilet is freaking $2,600.
Is it gold plated?
No.
That's ridiculous.
Auto open, auto flush. Wow. Does this one have an app too? This isn't even that nice of a.
I like the butt picture. The butt
Yeah.
icon.
Can you imagine
This is
getting,
not even a nice remote control for $2,600.
you know, you get used to it. Just like everything else.
Outlet
like on the phone.
required.
You know, it opens up by itself, it flushes by itself and all that, and then it
And what
After
happens when
years-
you go to a restaurant and it doesn't?
right. Or what happens when the battery runs out and you're
No,
not
you need an
thinking about
outlet
it?
for it.
Well, that one requires an outlet.
You know what they're gonna do with these smart toilets
Oh, boy.
is a subscription-based system. So if you don't pay the bill for
Of
that month, you
course.
can't use the bathroom.
And they're going to be paywall.
Yeah, like BMW.
Yep.
Yeah.
DLC toilet paper.
You didn't pay the subscription fee this month. Sorry, you can't use the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, no more flushing.
Okay, I gotta get off.
All right.
That's wild.
All right, guys.
If anybody's trying to buy me a gift for Christmas, I'm more than open to an automatic smart
Oh, man.
bidet
Yeah.
toilet thing.
Okay.
Amnon, you had to ask if there was
I know,
something else,
I
right?
know, I know. Blame it all
Next
on
time,
me,
just
I
end the
know.
damn show, Amnon.
Yeah,
Problem
I-
solved.
I regret all my life
Well,
choices.
thanks, Gal. Thanks, Nick. Thanks. Katie, thanks.
No problem. I'll keep you updated.
All right. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna. I mean, Katie. I mean, Donna. Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM. You can tell your Echo device to play 980 The Wave, or you can go later on to nickcraig.com and listen to the recordings. And Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Nick and Brian do the Infection podcast for survival games and gaming news on Twitch. So Tuesday evening, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Enjoy.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.